Hi, welcome back. I've got some backup today. Paul Sharman, part of the Thomas Turner company. And can you believe it, after all these years, angler extraordinaire, Paul has become a collector.
It's true.
his life in a moment is going to be in tatters. But what he wants me to do here, live, is to devalue some stuff seriously so he can buy it. I'm sure that's the route. What we're going to look at basically is if you're going to start collecting brass reels, of which there are many, do you go polished or do you go not polished? Now there's two different markets here. Can you tell us what on earth attracted you to a brass reel when you were a bait runner man?
Well, this one came in the other day. It is polished, as you say, but what caught my eye more was the engraving on it.
Right.
That's what really interested me.
Okay.
It's a London maker. It's got a name of S-Big on it, but we've since found out that's probably not the person who made the reel, of course. It's like a shop's put their own brand on it. But it just struck me that's a lovely shelf piece. It's got a nice little action, nice little sound to it, but it just looks nice. It's got London history, which I think is quite important for what we're doing.
Right.
And it just struck me that it's a reel I would like in my new collection, I suppose you could say, because it's something I think now I've found that, I'd actually be interested in seeing what else is out there, what other makers. So I'd seen some other reels made by London makers, and there was one from here, Eaton and Della.
Yes.
So again, it's a very nice little reel. It's got the same sort of engraving again, which is what caught my eye initially.
Yes.
And so straight away I've got the makings of a collection there, should I be so bold. But I just sort of wondered really from your sort of perspective, is this a good way to go as a new collector? Is that the sort of niche thing you're looking for, and will it hold value into the future, or is it more about, for me it's the aesthetic at the moment, but longer term I suppose I should be thinking of, if I'm going to put some money into these things, will I be getting some money out of them perhaps down the road in the future?
Okay. Well, I think that's two very separate things. I mean, what attracted you to that? Was it the maker's name in the history, or was it the fact it was shiny?
It was the maker's name in the history, particularly. The fact it was shiny was then the bonus on the back of it, I think.
All right.
It just looks nice.
Because in real terms, this reel would have started off as this.
Oh, okay.
So if you say this has got all the original bronzing, that we call it, the bronze finish on top of the brass, if that were on a shelf and you saw it, would you have been so attracted to it as this?
Probably not straight away, because I can't see the engraving as clearly, perhaps number one.
Okay.
I like the fact it's small, and I'd be looking for, has it got a town on it? This one's Edinburgh, because it's an Alex Martin.
Right.
So yes, but you probably, I think you're saying the right thing, I probably would have picked that one up before that one.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, there are two very separate markets. You know, in the UK, if we had a reel like this as a collector, and you took it to a buff, and you buffed off all the finish and said, "Hey, Dad, look what I've done," you would get a clip in the ear. I mean, that's the way it would happen. It's like taking the paint off a Bentley.
I'm glad you told me now.
It doesn't. Have you polished this? It doesn't work. If you take it to the States or take it to a general antiques fair, you wouldn't find a reel generally like that. They'd buff it up to make the brass shine. They'd make the German silver shine. They'd make the ebonite shine. They'd make it shiny, because shiny attracts magpies.
Yep.
So your magpie comes along, sees this shiner reel and says, "Oh, I love that." But there are two separate thought lines about this. If you have a series of reels, all like London makers, all dark, all dark, all dark, unless you're a purist, it's a fairly dark sort of display.
Yes.
If you have your shiny reel, and your shiny reel, and your shiny reel, I'll talk about this in a minute, and your very early shiny reel, they do tend to look, in my opinion, more pleasing.
Yes.
But you have devalued that reel if you've taken all the finish off it. So you buy a lovely Bentley and you strip the paint and say, "Hey, look what I've done. Is it the same value?" No, it's not.
Okay.
It doesn't mean somebody won't buy it, because you did, but it probably means less people want to buy it. But if we're talking at the value that this reel is, and this is maybe, let's say, 60, 70, 80 pounds, something like that, it's always going to be that. It's never going to be 10 because you took the paint off it. Because there'll always be another Paul Sharman who's wandering along and he's fed up catching nothing with his bait runner, because I know what you like, and he's going to say, "Well, that's nice, I'll start collecting." And he will do that. So, and once you've done that, you are a collector.
Okay. Yeah.
But you will buy another, and you will buy another, and your budget will change, your aspirations will change. Then becomes the issue, what do I do with a polished reel I paid £75 for because it's worth 30 or 40, let's say.
Yes,
I'm just putting numbers in here. So you have to set out in your own mind to start with. Do I want to collect mint original, or do I want to collect things that please me? Most people collect it because they please them. Most people that collect these are fishermen. Some people use them. Generally, you just like to look at them. And I know personally, shiny brass reels on a shelf look great. All reels with all the finish look dull, but they are worth more.
Okay. And in terms of, I mean, we've got a large stock of Farlow's reels in brass, as it happens, and we've got a couple on the table. I mean, What's the price differential between one of these smaller Farley's reels that you've got in front of us and something like this in the salmon size? Do you find there's a big market for both of those?
Yeah, there's a very different market for both. I mean, some people, you know, talking on one of the previous episodes about the green hot rod scenario,
Yes.
some people say, I'd like a follow rod to go with a follow reel, and once a year I'll go out, I'll have a chuck with a green hot, and that's just lovely to do. So they actually use it. You wouldn't use this. This is a small amount of line held on a winch, so once your 15-foot hazel rod has used its little bit of horsehair line, there's a little store for additional line on there. It's not a reel as we know it today. It's called a winch or a wind.
Okay.
That holds less. That's actually not polished. This looks polished, and here folks, if you can see that, this looks polished, but it's not. It's a hot lacquer finish over the brass, which tarnishes a little bit. So this is actually the original finish, which is getting a little bit near that. So your confusion is that original? Yes. Is that original? Yes. Is that original? No. But in a year or two, that will become original because it'll tarnish. So it's very confusing for a new collector to say, you tell me which of those is original, which is not,
Yeah.
and you probably get it wrong. So we need to do a research thing. We spoke earlier, get back to the research books. But if you're only spending a few pounds to start with, and you're buying locally, you're buying at car boots, or whatever you do, and you're getting fun, collect what you want. When it gets serious and you're spending money you can't really afford, then do your homework or else you'll be in trouble.
Perfect. Okay.
And that's it. So, do you still want this?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Another sale for Thomas Turner. Doing a job here. Thanks, folks. See you soon.